The next morning, the man walked to the disputed road only to find it completely blocked by heavy trucks and barricades. The HOA had acted overnight, sealing the path so no villager could pass. His face turned red with anger as he clutched his old yellow deed papers. "Move these trucks now," he shouted. But the workers ignored him. Police officers stood nearby, watching carefully, ready to control the situation. Slowly, the villagers gathered, whispering among themselves. Some supported the man, others looked afraid. The man stepped forward, slamming his hand on the barricade. "This road belongs to my family for generations. You cannot steal it overnight." One police officer raised his hand. "Calm down, sir. This is HOA property now. Do not create trouble." The man's voice grew louder. "Show me your proof." "I have mine right here." He waved the old papers in the air. The villagers gasped. The atmosphere grew heavy. The tension was so thick it felt like a storm was about to break. As the argument heated, the woman arrived in her spotless white suit, her lawyer walking confidently beside her. She held a set of shining new documents, perfectly printed, sealed, and stamped. Raising them high, she shouted for all to hear. "Here is the truth. This road is officially HOA property. These old papers of yours mean nothing." The man's eyes burned with fury. He stepped forward, waving his crumpled yellow deeds. "Fake. Every word in those papers is fake. My grandfather walked this road. My father maintained it. And now you come with glossy lies." The villagers murmured loudly. Half of them turned toward the woman, impressed by the neatness of her documents. The other half stood behind the man, shouting in his defense. The police officers exchanged confused glances. They had no idea whose papers were real. One whispered, "These look official," while pointing at the woman's shiny files. The man slammed his fist against his chest. "You may have money, but truth cannot be bought. These papers are real, written before you were even born." The woman smirked, her lawyer smirking too. "Then prove it in court." The tension grew unbearable. Villagers were now shouting louder, the air filled with anger and disbelief. The road had become a battlefield of truth and lies. The shouting on the road grew louder. Villagers on both sides argued, some chanting for the man, others supporting the woman. Police officers struggled to keep order, their voices drowned by the noise. Finally, one senior officer stepped forward, his face hard and strict. He pointed directly at the man. "Enough! If you don't step aside, we will arrest you for disturbing the peace." Gasps erupted from the villagers. The man clutched his old papers tightly to his chest. His voice trembled with anger, but his stance was firm. "Arrest me? For standing on the land that belongs to my family? You should be arresting those who forged papers, not me." The crowd grew restless. Some villagers shouted, "He is right," while others cried, "Follow the law." The woman folded her arms with a smug smile, whispering to her lawyer, "Finally, he will be removed." But the man didn't move. His feet pressed into the dirt road as if rooted deep into the ground. He looked straight into the officer's eyes. "Do what you must, but I will not leave. This road is mine. My blood is in this soil." The officer hesitated, his hand hovering near the man's shoulder. For a moment, time froze. Villagers leaned in, waiting to see if the man would be dragged away in chains or if justice would find another path. The tension was unbearable. As the officer's hand pressed closer to the man's shoulder, an old voice cracked through the chaos. "Wait, I have something." The villagers turned. An elderly man, bent with age, walked slowly toward the crowd. His hand shook as he carried a dusty wooden box, worn out from years of hiding. Everyone fell silent as he placed the box on the road. The rugged man looked at him with wide eyes. "Uncle, what is this?" The old villager coughed, his voice trembling but firm. "When your grandfather passed away, he entrusted me with this. I kept it hidden, afraid it would be stolen. But today it must be seen." He opened the box. Inside were ancient papers, brown with age but stamped with undeniable seals of ownership. Gasps spread through the crowd. Even the police officers leaned closer, their stern faces breaking into surprise. The rugged man's eyes filled with tears. He grabbed the documents with trembling hands. This is the proof I needed." The woman's face turned pale. Her lawyer snatched the shiny documents and flipped through them nervously, suddenly unsure. The villagers cheered loudly. Some shouted, "The truth has come out." Others clapped their hands in relief. The woman stumbled back, her confidence shattering. For the first time, she had no words. The dusty box had changed everything. The road fell silent. The elderly villager's box had spoken louder than any argument. The rugged man held the ancient documents high, his hands shaking but his eyes burning with pride. The senior police officer examined the papers carefully. He nodded slowly, then raised his voice for all to hear. "These documents are authentic. The road belongs to him. This case is over." The villagers erupted into cheers. Some cried tears of relief. Others clapped their hands in celebration. Children ran onto the road, chanting the man's name. The once divided village now shouted as one. The woman's face twisted with anger. She tried to argue, waving her shiny documents, but no one listened anymore. Her lawyer pulled at her sleeve, whispering, "It's over. We've lost." She yanked her arm free and stormed away, her heels digging into the dirt road. The rugged man stood tall, raising his family's deed toward the sky. Tears rolled down his cheeks as he whispered, "Father, grandfather, today I kept our promise." The villagers surrounded him, lifting him on their shoulders in victory. For the first time in years, the road was free, not for one person, but for the whole community. The police lowered their heads in respect. The senior officer saluted the man before walking away. Justice had finally been delivered. The road, soaked with sweat, tears, and generations of struggle, was now truly his.